Sometimes you don't know what you had until it's gone, and the solo era of LEGO Star Wars is one I think many fans either overlook or have completely forgotten about. It had a new source material to play with that introduced colour, unique molds and designs that we'll most probably never see again. But all of this came at a time where Star Wars was starting to lose the core majority of fans. The Last Jedi had just come out and divided the audience, and a short 5 months later, Solo hit the theatres. A combination of Star Wars fatigue and a fan base starting to distrust Disney at the helm led to the copious amounts of merchandise that follows the wake of any Star Wars release to fall short on sales. But this was a bit of a second golden age for LEGO and their designs. There was ingenuity, excitement, and at the end of the day, an amazing output of sets from that era. Let's look back on every set released and celebrate a time where LEGO was pushing their hardest to produce quality for the fans. Up first, there was 2 polybag builds, which were smaller versions of sets released later in this line. Neither really go down in memory as being the greatest, and like most sets this size, they end up at the bottom of the brick bin after one too many lore sessions. Then there are 2 minifigure polybags, both great designs and ones I think will stay unique forever. The Kessel Mine Worker and the Han Solo Mud Trooper were both gifts of purchase in 2018, skirting around the implied licensing problems that LEGO face selling individual minifigures. And by the way, LEGO sort out whatever legal problems you have keeping you from making a Star Wars CMF line. That might actually keep the hordes of disgruntled fans off your back for about 12 months. In particular, I love the Mud Trooper Han Solo. The design team went all out and created the look spectacularly. Small touches like the dark tan variation of Han Solo's reddish brown hair is a smart and economical design choice. And the fact you can line up this minifigure to the Imperial Han Solo one and see where all the mud has gone over that outfit, it just speaks to a sort of true cohesion and the design language that LEGO was using at the time. The Imperial Patrol Battle Pack was one of the cheapest sets released, but holds one of the best Imperial figures I think they have ever done. The Imperial Patrol Trooper has no right being this good. An intricate torso and a helmet that looks like it's been made from a custom firm that would charge $50 per minifigure. It also came with the Imperial Recruitment Officer and an Imperial Immigration Officer who both look great, and if you listen to LEGO and their 2025 design standards, match a UCS Death Star quality. The build had interesting angles, but with most battle packs, it's all about the minifigures. Han Solo's Land Speeder and Moloch's Land Speeder almost feel like they should have come in a $70 double set, but came separately and $30 and $40 respectively. It is refreshing to see some more civilian type land speeders other than Luke's land speeder speak its name, and it will appear in the next release window. Let's cut that out, yeah? Coming from the car chase scene at the beginning of Solo, they are both faithful to the source material and were new designs for the team to work with. The minifigures were also great, with Han and Kira and the outstanding Moloch minifigure with a unique head mold and printing across the entire front and back of the minifigure. As with most great LEGO minifigures, when the design team is given the license to run with their creativity by the budget team, we get something that is special. Hopefully in 2026 we can see more of this and the design team allowed to flex their innovative muscles. Then comes what many people believe to be the best non-UCS TIE fighter that LEGO has done. Some people say it's even better than UCS TIE fighter. And I don't think it is a mistake that when everything seems to be working cohesively behind the scenes at LEGO, things work. This 519 piece build had great proportions to the source material, something that is definitely lacking in the new TIE fighters. Then there are the minifigures, and particularly one of my favorites of all time from LEGO Star Wars, the Nimban Stormtrooper. This heavily weathered frontline trooper from the battle of the second act of the movie is an eye-catching design, but on closer look, it is just the standard Stormtrooper print on a light bluish grey with a bit of extra mud and battle grime. It comes together with a great printed cloak helping show the terrible conditions of Nimban that led to Han defecting from the Empire. Smart use again of a colour swap to tell a different story, like the Mud Trooper Han Solo from earlier. We see a cleaner version of Han Solo in his Imperial garb and Tobias Beckett in a stolen Imperial captain's uniform. All great minifigures that help tell the story, each given plenty of space on that minifigure to convey the characters and the setting. The Kessel Run Millennium Falcon was the big play set from the sub-theme, the most expensive set that came with the most minifigures. The design replicated the Force Awakens Millennium Falcon set from 2015, with that even pizza slice on hinges to help build the main hull, before the 2019 Falcon closed most of those gaps. I would love to see a re-release of this ship with that updated design. It is also the first time LEGO has built out the front forks of the Falcon, originally designed for hauling cargo. Lando put an escape pod in there, and LEGO did a great job of staying faithful to that source material, no matter sort of how strange it looks when it's filled in. These minifigures are good and show the crew in their outfits from the Kessel Run, but also includes the only time we have seen a Pike minifigure in LEGO. The Pike Syndicate run spice in the galaxy and often seen in the extended materials like books and comics. They did make another live action appearance in the Book of Boba Fett, but the less said about that, the better. The one major omission from this set is an L337 minifigure, Lando's sidekick. She was a huge part of the movie and goes on to become an integral part of the Falcon's hyperspace computer, one of the things that makes the iconic ship so special. The Cloud Rider swoop bikes were a low-end set when it came to money, but introduced two great minifigures that have amazing helmet molds and accurate detailed torso prints that show how good LEGO can really be. When watching the movie, you could easily play it off saying, oh, LEGO's not going to attempt that minifigure, but they smashed both of them out of the park. I think the Infus Nest helmet is up there with the best LEGO has ever produced. Her torso printing is in-depth, detailed, and importantly, screen accurate. Weasel also gets a lot of love from the design team. And whenever a set introduces a bit of colour to the LEGO Star Wars lineup, I am up for it, as my Sea of Grey needs a couple of accents in it. Our penultimate set is the Imperial Conveyance transport from the train heist scene in the movie. It's a shame it only came with one train car, but it had great play features with our final set. The train came with a great lineup of 5 unique minifigures, including one of the fastest rising prices of a minifigure in recent time. The Range Trooper came in an all-white look reminiscent of the Snow Troopers, but has great printing on the visor and a cloth neck that helps show the fur from the source material. This cloth piece has spiked in value, as many have been lost over the years. The 2 Rangers that came in the set are now more expensive than the entire set itself when it was released in 2018. There was a glimmer of hope that we might get a re-release of the Range Trooper after it appeared in the opening of Andor Season 2 when Cassian stole the prototype TIE Fighter. But if you're a fan of LEGO and Andor, you know it is very low on their radar when it comes to producing sets from that show. I love the Han and Chewie goggles too, and the fact that it ties into the last set is really nice. LEGO should have more crossover functionalities between the sets they release. Lastly is the Imperial AT Hauler. Originally stolen from Nimban to help with the heist, this new ship probably won't be done by LEGO again. The standout minifigures are Val and Rio Durant. Val's torso and leg printing continue the great design seen across this era. Details and accuracy are all there. Rio Durant's unique design was solved with a one-off double arm mold which allowed the minifigure to stay small while still having 4 arms. Unlike the giant Pong Krell with his almost double torso look, Rio needed all of this in a much smaller frame. And the fact that LEGO went ahead and did it makes me think they were actually up for the challenges of the time and wanted to find ways of making things work in the LEGO system. And this is indicative of the entire lineup. LEGO's design and LEGO's budget teams working together to produce what should be a much more memorable sub-theme. These sets deserve better than the environment they were released in, and hopefully we can see this sort of endeavour from LEGO again soon. If they do not foster the new generations coming in, they won't have an audience to sell to in the future. If you've enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who you think might have overlooked the solo LEGO Star Wars sets. And may the Force be with you.